I'm going to show you how to can something that you're not going to find on most canning sites. I've been kind of looking around for ideas that might be more original, and this is one that I thought of that you will definitely enjoy and something that you need to get on your shelf right now for so many reasons. This is dirty rice or rice dressing, depending on what part of the country you're from, what you call it. And yes, you can rice dressing. You're just gonna make the gravy part of it, of course, and just warm it up and then add the rice later. But this is really easy, and a few reasons that you really need to get this on your shelf right now is because for the most part, most people don't get enough organ meat in their diet. And this is one way that you can get it in really, really easy, and it's delicious. So you can either buy pre-made rice dressing mix, or if you have access to the actual organ meat, then that's going to be really nutritious and you're going to be able to put as much as you want. We butcher, so we have organ meat on hand, so I'm going to make my own and I'll show you how to do that. But if you can't access that, you can use dressing mix. So the only thing you need to do this is your ground meat. You're going to portion it to whatever portion you want to fix. I'm kind of doing a lot right now, but I have about 6 pounds of ground meat. You're going to either use your dressing mix or your organ meat, and this is going to basically be livers, hearts. You can put kidneys, whatever organ meat you have on hand. Beef liver is one of the most nutrient-dense meats or foods really in general that you can eat. And I'm going to give you a list of all the nutrition found in just the beef liver alone. And then there's the heart that gives you a lot of nutrients that you wouldn't normally access very easily. You really miss out on the density of nutrient when you don't eat your organ meats. And of course, most people don't like organ meats, but who doesn't like rice dressing, right? So this is a way to get your kids to eat their meat. So, and another reason that I think this is a really good canning project is because most people fix rice dressing for the holidays, and you're so busy and it's so much work and you have so many other things to prepare. How wonderful would it be to be able to just go and grab a few jars off the shelf, heat it up, mix your rice in, and have one of your main dishes already done so you can focus on other parts of the meal preparation. And then, of course, with the economy and things happening in the world and people aren't sure where they're going to stand economically, or even with the supply chain problems come the holidays, you don't have to worry. You know that you have your rice dressing already ready already. So let's do this. It's really easy. You're going to love having this on your shelf whenever you want it. All right, well, I thought I was recording and apparently I wasn't, so I'll just have to tell you what I just did. It's very simple. All you need is a blender, either a food processor or a blender pitcher. Put whatever organ meats you're going to use in the blender and turn it on and puree it. Just turn it into a big nasty meat smoothie. So you can use, again, any organ meat that you have or that you want. Beef liver is delicious and very nutritious, but we do butcher, so I have kind of a mixture of beef liver, rabbit, chicken, hearts, probably some kidneys, all kinds of things mixed in there. So again, really easy. Just put it in, mix it up. So we're just going to start by putting our meat in and browning that up. I really wouldn't be using this pot normally, but I need something short enough for the camera to kind of see in for what you're doing. I actually have a bigger pot that I would normally be using, but it's also taller, so that would make it harder for you to see. So I'm gonna be a little cramped for room in this shorter pot, but I usually like to get my meat browning and then cut up my onions and peppers and garlic and all that other stuff while I'm waiting for that to kind of melt down. Most ground meats are going to have enough fat in them to produce their own fat as they begin to cook down a little bit. You want to season your meat while it's frying. And it's okay to season a lot because we have a large portion. Oh gosh, that's going to be spicy. Cayenne pepper is really, really good for you. So if you're going to overdo any pepper, overdo the cayenne. You can put whatever seasonings you like. I typically always do a seasonal, garlic, salt, black pepper, red pepper. After your meat has mostly browned, you want to go ahead and add your onions and seasonings. Stir it in and give it a minute or two to wilt down. Then we want to add our dressing mix. So typically you're going to put about a half a cup per pound, half a cup of dressing mix per pound of ground meat at minimum, but you can put more depending on how intense you want the flavors to be. So we're just going to get it all in there. This is one of the things a snub nose spoon is not great for. And then stir it into the pot. The organ meat is going to brown really fast, so this part is not going to take long at all. Boy, I'm just making all kind of messes today. Once you've browned down the organ meat a little bit, we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of water. Kind of stir up the organ puree that was left in here. Try to get it out with the water. We're not going to cook this very long. Probably about 5 minutes, maybe. Just enough to loosen up everything that's on the bottom and get it well and incorporate it into the meat. I'm going to probably add a little bit more water. And you can add bouillon to this too if you want. While this is incorporating, you want to go ahead and scrape the bottom of your pot to make sure all of the flavoring has turned loose and incorporated into the water. Because that's what's going to make a lot of your broth and your gravy flavor. All right, typically I should have had about 6 pounds of meat in here, so typically you're going to get about 1 pound of meat per quart jar. So we should run about 6 jars here, but we'll see. When I do meat and gravies, I typically like to do the meat first so that I can make sure I get an even distribution of the gravy. So I'll start with, calm down guys. I'll start with 3 ladles of meat in each jar, and then just make my way around, and then I'll come back and add the gravy. Now I want to get an even ladling of the broth into each jar. This broth is concentrated, so if there's not enough to fill the jars, then we can easily just add hot water for the rest of the way. So we want to make sure we get the flavors evenly distributed. So I'm going to do 2 ladles in each jar and then come around till they're full. All right, and just a little bit more liquid in some of these jars. So what I'm going to do is just add a little bit more water to the pot. Scratch it up a little bit more. Make sure everything is in there. Pour the water back into this pouring cup just because it's going to make it easier to get this last little bit done. And then we're just going to go ahead and top it off to about 1 inch of head space on each jar. So now we come with our vinegar rag and we're going to clean our rims really good. And then we're going to go ahead and put our lids on finger tight. So a good way to know how tight is to put it till it stops and then do about 1/4 of a rotation after that. So you put it on till it stops spinning on its own and then do about 1/4. And that will give you usually the right tightness. Okay, at this point we're going to need to can these to make them shelf stable so that you can leave them on the shelf for years and years to come and just grab them whenever you want them. So to do that, if you're using the preferred pressure canning method, which is the safest and the most preferred method, you're going to need to pressure can these for, this is quart size, so you're going to have to pressure can them for 90 minutes or 70 minutes if you're doing the little pints. For 10 pounds of pressure at sea level, adjust for altitudes. If you don't know how to do that, you can get clear step-by-step instructions by watching this video. Or if you're using the heritage water bath method that is used in many places, then you're going to want to water bath it for 3 hours. Of course, anytime you have meats involved, you need to water bath for a minimum of 3 hours. You can go longer, but not less. And if you would like to see a demonstration of that, you can watch this video here. Sorry for all the noise. The dogs are playing in the living room. They got a little meat, so they're happy.